Hey guys, so it's been a while. Been about a week, I think, since I done my last video, and the reason for that is I had a couple of really good days with my fibro, and it's like when you actually get a bit of a good a couple of good days or a good day or whatever. I was just trying to whack out everything that I'd got on my never-ending list of things to do. So I managed to whack out a good proportion, and then the inevitable crash happened. And then for like 3 days I was flat on my back. I couldn't do a thing, absolutely nothing. So that's the downside to it. Anybody that's got chronic pain and chronic illnesses will know that they have that downward spiral, I guess. When you've had a good day or a couple of good days, and then you suddenly you crash, you lose all your spoons. And for anybody that thinks, what on earth is she on about, Google the spoon theory and you'll know what I'm on about. And then I was gonna try and do a video like Wednesday, and then life happened, and it just got really busy again, and I ended up having to do some things that I couldn't put off any longer. You know what that's like. Just adulting 101. Great, isn't it? And so here we are. It's Saturday night, and it's my husband's birthday. So we've had a quiet day. It's been lovely, a lovely day. Just quiet. We've just relaxed. We've just watched movies. We had a lovely takeaway, which I couldn't finish. Because what is it with portion sizes? Right, you go out or you order a takeaway and they give you enough food for like 6 people. Like, and genuinely, right, I don't eat big portions. I know I'm a big person, and the haters are probably looking at me and thinking, yeah, right, she eats big portions. I actually don't. But I just find it very, very hard to lose weight, and some of that is down to the underactive thyroid. I can look at food and put on weight, genuinely. And some of it is obviously after effects still of like the binge eating disorder, which I mentioned in my previous video, which I kind of want to touch on again in this video. Because I had that problem after being abused. I don't want to talk too much about that. But for me, the only way out of the abuse, something in my head triggered, and the only way I could get away from that abuse was by getting fat. And that would then stop it, which it did. It worked. It stopped. And then I thought I'd have all the time in the world, because I'm going back, 25 years now. And I thought I'd have all the time in the world to change that, being in my 20s. And then I got sick. From the age of 19, I was just so sick all the time. And I was actually a sickly child as well. Every 8 weeks, my mum said you could guarantee that I was going to have something every 8 weeks. And when I hit 19, I had my first ectopic pregnancy, and I was very, very close to dying. Very close, because it ruptured. But that's a story for another day. But then I had another ectopic pregnancies. I had tons of miscarriages. And then when I was 22, I had glandular fever. and then all the pain started, and like you just feel like I had the flu all the time, and I just genuinely didn't feel well. I look back at some pictures that I remember, and there was one, and I was standing in it was like a butterfly farm, and I was standing by a bonsai tree, because I love bonsai trees, and I was so pale, and I'm quite pale anyway, as you can see. I get quite a bit of like redness on my face, and I also present with like the butterfly rash, but I haven't got lupus. I just have the rash, and it seems that actually a lot of people with fibromyalgia have that rash, but they don't have lupus. Why, it's not known, but and so yeah, I just look so pale, I look so ill, and then I was in a bad relationship for a few years, and then I finally got the courage to get out of that, and I went back home. Sorry, I was just looking at my cat. And yeah, and then the pain, like I said before, first of all, I was diagnosed with the chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, and the pain was still present. And my mum, who's also got fibromyalgia and has had it for 30 years now, she's had fibromyalgia, and she was like, I hope it's not fibromyalgia. I said, no, it's not fibromyalgia. And I did touch on this in the other video, where I didn't want to believe that I got it, and I went to 4 different doctors who said, yes, you definitely got it. So, but anyway, then I was diagnosed with the binge eating disorder when I sought help for the abuse and attacks that had happened when I was younger. Different things happened in my teen years, which kind of went on to have a bigger impact in my life later on as a result of other things that had happened. And so I thought I had all the time in the world to lose the weight, and then I got sick, and then it was diagnosis after diagnosis. The medication that I was put on, I was put on steroids to try and help, and no word of a lie, I put on a stone in a week. I was absolutely devastated, because I was so slim. I was, I'm never going to be a slim girl. I'm always going to carry weight, but I was well proportioned, shall we say. And so now I'm kind of, all these years on, like I've kind of dealt with the binge eating disorder. I've overcome it, and it's taken me a very, very long time to do that. I've had therapy, I've had this, I've had that, but at the end of the day, until you are ready in your mind, it's not going to work. You're not going to overcome it, and I've had to do things little by little, and of course more weight's gone on, and I've ended up now being this size, and that's kind of where I want to touch on now, because I mentioned in the last video, sorry, I say like I've got a cold, I actually haven't, but I have chronic sinusitis, and so I always appear very full in the head and the nose. And I mentioned in the last video about this chair gym that my parents had got for me. And I'm like, I'm really scared of using it, because like every time I've tried to do some exercise before of any kind, the pain, it's the pain that is so bad. I mean, I take morphine for the pain as it is anyway. But I've tried every single diet going. I've tried this exercise, that exercise, normal exercising, swimming, steps, aerobics, water aerobics, and none of it's worked because of the pain. But now I just feel that, like, the weight that I am, it's like crunch time. You know, I just feel like I don't want to be a big person anymore. I've never been comfortable with the weight gain anyway. And I've always kind of chalked it down to, well, that's my life, that's the way it is. But I think now I've kind of, like, I've touched 40, or turned 40, and, you know, the realisation is that none of us know how long we've got left on this earth. And recent events have brought that to light. And, you know, I want to be around for a long time. You know, we are in a situation where we are never going to have children. Which again, you know, I don't want to go too much into that at the moment. But I want to be around for my husband. Obviously, there's only us two. You know, we don't have big families. James doesn't have any family left now. You know, I've got my mum and dad, and I've got my brother, and, you know, like, distant cousins and things like that. But, you know, life is short. Life is very, very short. And I just feel that I'm at the stage that I want to be around for as long as I can be, you know, for both of us, you know. And I know that, like, he worries about my health, and my parents worry about my health, especially, like, this last 18 months has been really dire, it's been really poor. And I just feel that, because, like, I'm quite, you know, I'm actually a very positive person. And I always try to look for the good in things. But it's a negative situation that I'm in, and the only way that I can bring about positivity is by being proactive in doing it, if that makes sense. But I'm scared of it not working. I'm terrified of the pain that I'm going to be in afterwards. I mean, I've got a regime that I need to follow that, you know, I've been directed to do by my GP. And I'll be going to physio soon as well. I'm just waiting for an appointment to come through, so they can help me with things as well. And I just want to know that I can do it. I think because my illness happened so young, like, you know, in my early middle 20s, I've kind of got to 40, and I think these last 8 months or so has been a bit of a midlife crisis. I've kind of been, like, thinking, well, what have I done with my life? Really? You know, and I know that I've done stuff, I know that I've achieved stuff, but it doesn't feel like it, because I always thought that, like, my achievements would be work-based. You know, I had to give up a fantastic job that I loved dearly, helping disabled people. And now I'm that person, you know. But I don't want to tie myself down with the title of disabled person, because it shouldn't define who you are. But fibromyalgia and chronic illness in general, I mean, I can only obviously speak for what I have. But chronic illness in general, I mean, fibromyalgia, it's stripped everything from me. It stripped my my mobility. It's stripped my independence. It's taken away friendships that I thought would last forever. It's taken away my job, my self-worth, my self-esteem, my confidence. You name it, it's taken it from me. And somehow I'm trying to get some of that back, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be stronger than it. I'm trying to be... That's my cat, I'm sorry. She's having a mad half an hour at 11 o'clock at night, yeah. Oh, God love her. I used to be in a situation where I was stronger than the fibromyalgia. It may have my body, but it doesn't have my mind. That's what I always said. But these last 18 months, it's taken everything. It's actually become stronger than me. And I'm in a situation that I don't know how to get that back. You know, I want this to work, I think, more than ever, more than anything. But there's still a couple of elements of the binge eating disorder that I'm finding really, really hard to overcome. One is I like crisps far too much. That's my weakness. Sweet things I'm not bothered about, really. You know, I like a little something, a couple of little sweets or something. If I really fancy a sweet tooth, if I have a sweet tooth or whatever. I eat salad, I eat fruit, the fridge is always stocked with stuff like that. Some of my portion sizes are way bigger than they should be, so I need to work on that as well. But overall, I don't eat big meals. We often just have things like sandwiches for our dinner. We don't have a cooked meal per se because we're not active enough really to warrant it, if that makes sense. A lot of the things that we do is house-based. My husband is an artist, so he paints, and like I've touched on before, I do various different things as and when I can. I just so want this to work. I want to be able to be one of those people that show off their weight loss results and their progress and everything, and the only way I can do that is by pulling up my big girl pants and saying, do it. You've got to do it. You've got to do it for your health. You've got to do it for the people that love you. And I've got to learn to love myself again. Gizzy, what's wrong? Sweetie? Gizzy? Gizzy? What's the matter? I know. You got a mad half hour going on, haven't you, darling? I know, it's 11 o'clock at night, sweetheart. See, that's the troublemaker, look. Oh, wrong way. Oh, no, it's not. Where are you? I can never get the angles right on this. There she is. There, look. Say hello to everybody. You're not going to say hello to anybody, are you? I promise these videos will get better. I'm still learning setups and things like that. I just want these videos to be real and raw and honest. Because that's the kind of person that I am. I lay it all out, lay it all down on the table, and this is it, So I kind of feel very alone because I don't feel that anybody really understands what it's like to have binge eating disorder and want to get out of it desperately. And, I would say I'm 75% there, recovered, but there's still elements that are still there because it's still in my brain, it's still in my head. And it's that last 25% that's always the hardest, That's the hardest to lose. All right, Gizzy. Shh. It's all right, darling. You have plenty of food. I fed you just before I did this, darling. Come on. Yes, I know. You know, people like around me, you know, with the greatest of intentions, and I know they mean well, but they will make it seem so easy, and it's not easy when it's in your head, you know. I've often read that people that are losing weight and they've lost a lot and they're down to like that last couple of stone, and they say it's the hardest to lose. Well, that's what it feels like with the binge eating disorder. I'm almost there. I know I am, but not quite, you know. I hope that you will join me on the journey. I'm putting myself out there. Which isn't easy. Some people find it easy. I don't find it easy. As you can probably tell, I probably look quite uncomfortable. And I'm hoping that bit by bit that will change. I'll get some more confidence and do better. So I hope that you will stick around with me and see how I get on, and hopefully I don't fail. And I'm sorry this video has been so long. I never set out to do really long videos, but somehow they always seem to happen, so I apologise in advance. But, you know, with regards to chronic illness and things like that, you know, let me know if there's anything that, you know, you want me to talk about. You know, if there's things that you find hard to talk about, because I'll talk about anything. I mean, I really don't mind. You know, let's do it together. Let's work together to make chronic illness more understanding. So with that, I am going to, with that I'm going to sign off for the night because I'm tired. So good night, everybody, and I hope tomorrow, Sunday, you'll have a blessed day.